The cruise is back.
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
And setting sail with the newest and most luxurious ship in the fleet.
The decor is fantastic.
Majestic Princess is on her maiden voyage from Shanghai to Sydney.
Welcome to Sydney, Australia, Majestic Princess.
Visiting Asia's megacities
Well, it's amazing.
and stunning scenery in New Zealand and Australia.
You want a kiss?
But it won't be plain sailing. It's typhoon season.
Houston, we have a problem.
And with 3,500 cruisers expecting the very best,
We're here to make a negative into a positive. That's our job.
the crew will be working
I want it in half an hour.
around the clock
Shiitake mushrooms.
to deliver the holiday of a lifetime.
Very exciting.
This week, assistant cruise directors Robbie and Sandra go head-to-head to keep the passengers entertained.
My lady's gonna win.
My lady is going to win.
Oh, look at my milk.
It's chaos in Korea for Karen, the food and beverage manager.
Passengers are on the way down. It doesn't look great.
And Cynthia and her team pull out all the stops to give one passenger a birthday to remember.
I love you.
In the Chinese megacity of Shanghai, Majestic Princess is preparing to set sail from one of the world's busiest ports. On deck 4, hotel service engineer Scott's in the baggage loading bay.
So this is the busiest area of the ship. And there's passengers coming on, passengers coming off. And it's essentially like an ant nest. Everyone's just running, doing their own thing, and you're just trying not to get in each other's way, basically.
Scott and his team are responsible for all maintenance on board, and he's in the chemical locker doing his last-minute checks.
Is that all the chlorine we've got left? That's it?
Yeah.
With water production and 3 swimming pools to maintain, the ship gets through over 60 litres of chlorine a day.
We're low on chlorine now, and if I was a passenger and the pools were starting to get closed down, I'd be pretty peed off, really.
Scott will need to get an urgent delivery in the next port for the pools to stay open. Everyone is now on board and ready to enjoy the traditional sail-away party as the ship leaves Shanghai on her maiden voyage down under. As the passengers settle into their new home for the next 22 days, they're now the responsibility of Dutch Hotel General Manager Jasper. And there's one department that must swing into action straight away.
Entertainment is a big part of the overall guest experience on board our ship. And in particular, the members of the crew staff. They are actively engaging with our guests all the time. They're basically the voice and the face of the ship.
With bad weather on the horizon, the job of the entertainments team is more important than ever. They must come up with round-the-clock activities for passengers if extreme weather keeps people indoors. There are 6 assistant cruise directors on board, all keen to get promoted. And with the ship's activities in full swing, 25-year-old new recruit Robbie Williams has to think outside the box, or cup.
This is Slinky Golf. The way this works is you're going to start on top of the staircase. Bum, bum, bum. Like this. If you get it in the cup, you get 10 points. All got it? Intense, right? Oh. It was natural for me to be an entertainer. In school, I was always the dramatic one, running around, crazy. I took drama as GCSEs. Became a red coat and got approached asking about cruise ships. And I thought, wow, yeah, travel around the world for free, entertain people, perfect.
And he has big plans for the future.
My next step would be cruise director. That's the dream goal.
Hello.
But Robbie's got competition.
Come on over to the elevators. We need elevators.
In the form of 31-year-old Sandra from Canada. She's been on Majestic Princess for almost a year and has her own ideas about how to entertain passengers.
Welcome
Welcome to Elevator Roulette. If you get the correct elevator, you're going to win double the chips that you put down.
The passengers bet on which lift will arrive first.
You come out of the elevator and all these people are just cheering for you for no reason. And I think it maybe makes people feel fantastic. I don't want to just fly under the radar. I'm here to be accepted as someone that wants to move on and continue to grow, and someone that wants to become a cruise director in the future with this company.
But she'll need to come up with new ideas if she's going to impress Jasper. The ship has just arrived in foggy Busan, South Korea, after a 500-mile journey. While the passengers ready themselves for the breakfast buffet,
Morning.
12 decks below, food and beverage manager Karen has just started her shift.
What are they saying about the rain? So basically all day. Normally I have about 6, 7, 8 hours for loading. Today I'm short because it's a low tide. We lose this platform, we actually can't fit it on the ship. So 11 containers. Tough day today.
The passengers get through 21 tons of food and drink every day, so Karen constantly has to restock, and today she only has 5 hours to get supplies on board.
Oh, look at my milk! The shoreside dropped a pallet of milk. Obviously the rain has spread it, which doesn't look great. Passengers are on the way down, so the customer service director's now organising for our boys to give them a hand just to clean it up really quickly.
It's not only the food that needs to be loaded, there's a piano for the entertainment department.
Oh, wow, that's one big piano.
And that's not music to Karen's ears.
So he stopped my operation, so now I'm behind schedule.
But it's okay, because she's a lovely lady and she's very nice to us.
But manoeuvring this musical monster isn't going to be easy, and it's delaying Karen even more.
Another sprinkler ahead, guys. What? We hit one of these sprinklers and set it off. It's a couple of tons of water within a couple of seconds.
The 150-kilo piano is nearly 2 meters tall.
Keep going.
And they have to try and fit it into the lift with just millimeters to spare.
We might have to drop the trolley out of the way, try and push it in. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Yeah, great work, guys. All right.
Karen has just 2 more hours to complete her deliveries.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Karen.
Tomorrow, with 6-meter swells expected, the piano will need to be bolted down. So Scott's been summoned to see if he can save the day.
The last thing we want is old Doris having a pint and the piano flattening her against the bulkhead. How's it going, chaps? The piano's on wheels, so we got to get it secured. So the idea is to weld these cups down onto the deck, and then we'll have to lift this piano onto these cups, and then with the ship roll it shouldn't move then. It's secure for sea. 1, 2, 3.
Hold inside.
While the passengers are enjoying their leisure time, back in the loading bay, the tide is rising fast for Karen. The gangways will have to be pulled up at any minute.
The platform's gone right down, so I don't have much time left, and we have got 2 containers left.
If Karen doesn't get her remaining supplies on board, she'll have to wait until Hong Kong.
Oh.
And if Scott's chlorine doesn't arrive, the pools may have to close.
It's got to make sure it all comes on. So I'm expecting 4,500 litres.
With just seconds to spare, Karen gets the remaining ship's deliveries on board.
A few spilt milk on the way. That was the only pallet that was dropped, so that's pretty good. Piano came on there happy, technical's happy. Yeah, good day.
And finally...
Oh, yes.
Scott's delivery makes it on board.
It allows me to open up the pools. I'm just relieved that it's on board.
The deck department's taking over, closing the doors. My job is done. Thank you.
It's 5:30 p.m. and Majestic Princess is getting ready to set sail on time.
A very warm welcome back on board. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed the stay here in Busan.
They'll travel from South Korea to Hong Kong under the guidance of Captain Craig.
Busan is in the top 5 busiest ports in the world. Navigationally challenging, especially with the weather at this time of year. It can be quite volatile with the wind and the rain. OK, gents, if at all in doubt, remember to speak out.
The captain is responsible for the safety of nearly 5,000 passengers and crew on board.
It is a huge responsibility. We are the biggest ship in the fleet, in one of the busiest areas in the world, with the most number of people on board of any of our ships.
With high tides and choppy waters, a local pilot needs to help the ship navigate out of the harbour. But Captain Craig faces another challenge.
And the manoeuvre this evening, heading out onto the bridge you can see on the port side.
And it does look fairly close from here. It doesn't look like we'll fit.
With the 2-mile-long harbour bridge fast approaching, the captain must manoeuvre the ship underneath with just meters to spare.
You see the clearance on the bridge on the camera.
They cannot afford to damage this $700 million ship. In South Korea, Majestic Princess is just meters away from the Busan Harbour Bridge, one of her tightest bridge clearances in Asia.
Left of the red light.
The bridge team, under the command of Captain Craig, must navigate under the highest point in the centre.
So all controls taken, tested in the centre and correct.
But the 2 meters of extra swell, strong currents and wind blowing at force 5 are adding to this tricky manoeuvre.
4.5 bridge starting to swing the bow to port now.
It's going to be tight. And they've got a big audience. They've made it. The bridge team can finally relax.
The navigator's done his job right.
Loads of room, loads of room.
Full speed to Hong Kong, Mr. Pilot.
Tonight is one of the highlights of the cruise calendar.
Good evening, ladies. You look lovely this evening.
An immaculately turned out Captain Craig is in the Piazza, where he's the evening's star guest.
Oh, Craig the captain, nice to meet you.
But some are finding the dress code a little harder to follow, like Australian lorry driver Kent.
I haven't tied a tie since I've been in school. It's not as easy as I remember.
Kent booked this cruise for his girlfriend Jess's 24th birthday.
We ended up having a couple of drinks that night and we thought we were just looking at this cruise. The magazine was there and woke up the next morning and we had booked it. And we had booked a suite, so even happier.
Cheers.
The 675-glass champagne waterfall is a decades-old ship tradition using over 30 bottles of bubbly.
It is amazing to see. It is quite a sight.
I love the class. Like, no one dresses like that anymore, so it's good.
The couple have been together 4 years, and with Jess's birthday coming up, Kent's under pressure to make this one really special. It's a new day at sea, and the passengers are making the most of the 9 shops on board, including Kent.
That's all right, could I get that one?
Shopping done, Kent is on his way to guest services trainer Cynthia to plan an evening to remember.
My partner has a birthday tomorrow. I was wondering if I could try sort something out.
So we probably want to do something for dinner.
That would be amazing.
Yeah?
Away from front desk, Cynthia springs into action.
I have a surprise birthday for guests tonight. So would you be able to wrap this for me with a nice bow? We had the F&B department that made the reservations for us. We have the entertainment that's going to play violinist. We have the front desk team that's going to be the officers presenting these roses. So the whole ship's company has come together to make this night very special for them. So it's very exciting.
As the ship continues its journey to Hong Kong, the winds have picked up to a force 10. And the waves are 13 feet, forcing passengers back inside. Canadian Sandra, one of 6 assistant cruise directors on board, is off to keep the passengers entertained in a bid to get noticed by her bosses.
We're gonna head over to the improv workshop, my first one with passengers. It's gonna be exciting. Oh, I got one. Let's hope we get more. Just concerned we're not gonna get a lot of passengers.
Sandra might be off to a slow start.
Oh my word, there's so many.
But numbers don't seem to be a problem for her colleague Robbie.
Welcome to the Scavenger Hunt. You have 45 minutes to complete. Your time starts now.
Oh man, go, 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 go.
Positive feedback means bring on the cruise director role.
In the Princess Live Theatre,
Hello, welcome.
Sandra seems to be slowly attracting punters.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're introduce each other. Sparkling Sandra.
Gloria, Gloria.
Jogging Jerry.
Joyful Jane! Yay!
Jasper, the hotel general manager, carries out regular spot checks around the ship and has called in to see Sandra's show.
I'm going to start with the monkey. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anything you like.
I've never done this on a cruise ship before.
I think it was fantastic. It was perfect. Everyone had a lot of fun. I'm glad that we got a good amount of people.
That was a perfect end to that one. Good job!
God, you guys are on a mission.
On the top deck, Robbie's passengers are battling against the clock.
All right, grab the ranch dressing.
Well, you can't ask anyone, you gotta find it. That's cheating.
After 45 minutes, the scavenger hunt is over, and it's time for Robbie to crown the winner.
Our team that got it first, which are this team in the corner, give them a round of applause. You've won yourself a bottle of champagne.
He's fun, he's upbeat, he's happy, he appeals to all age groups. Plus, he's good looking.
They really enjoyed it, I think, and I'm really happy now. I can sleep now. I'm out of breath. I need a drink.
That's for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
And to top it all, one of the passengers has nominated Robbie for an award.
Well done, Princess Cruises, to have Robbie on board. A credit to the team.
It's really nice, isn't it? Feel a bit much.
Robbie is making his mark and hopes he'll be first in line the next time a cruise director role comes up. The ship has just arrived in Hong Kong, the most visited city in the world.
Very busy, very busy.
And after 4 days of rain and choppy seas, Australian lorry drivers Jess and Kent are making the most of their time ashore. Hong Kong has more skyscrapers than Manhattan,
Well, looks amazing.
and Jess and Kent have booked this tour especially to see the iconic skyline lit up over the harbour.
Sort of got it.
You're a photographer.
And once the passengers are safely back on board,
Aft station bridge, let go everything aft.
the ship sets sail on the long voyage to Vietnam, and hopefully some better weather. It's dinner time on board Majestic Princess. As Kent and Jess enter Harmony, the speciality restaurant Cynthia has reserved especially for Jess's birthday.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Very nice of you. Thank you.
But what Jess doesn't know is that there's another surprise waiting for her.
We've got the violinist with us singing happy birthday. And then each officer from the guest services is coming in to give her a rose. So, and then the boyfriend can give the gift. I think we got it right, isn't it? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Have a good night. Enjoy.
Good evening. Thank you. I love you. Try to make me cry again. Thank you. That was the cutest thing he's ever done. This by far beats all the other birthdays.
With dinner over, it's time for some nighttime fun. And downstairs in the Piazza, the entertainment team are hosting a German beer fest. After a bit of German slap dancing, Robbie and Sandra host a beer glass holding competition, but they can't help but compete against each other.
My lady's gonna win.
My lady's gonna win. My lady is gonna win.
And one. Here we go, Margaret. You got it, Margaret. Doing great, Margaret. Oh, face of concentration.
Come on!
lady actually won. Sandra's actually not happy, which is perfect.
Mine was better. You were
How
already
is
dripping.
yours better?
Ours was already dripping.
Fortunately, though, they both equally impressed Hotel General Manager Jasper.
Sandra is a great, active and creative individual, and she would be one of the people that I would see in the future being a cruise director.
Wunderbar!
Make sure that you squeeze your butt cheeks in.
Robbie is bubbly, he's outgoing, people love him when he's doing his dancing in the Piazza. I think he has a great opportunity with us and a great career ahead of him.
Perfect.
If an opportunity comes up, it looks like it'll be neck and neck. As the staff yodel the night away, on the top deck, Jess's birthday celebrations are in full swing.
It was good, dancing with everyone and an amazing dinner, surprise dinner. Best birthday ever, actually. I love him.
And as the happy couple party the night away, Majestic Princess sails off towards her next destination, Vietnam. Next time, Scott faces a meltdown in the laundry.
All this is just piling up.
Storms threaten chaos for customer service director Miguel.
One opens, the other one collects.
And in the lobby, it's gridlock for the guests.
Right, we want to sort this out at the desk.